There's a moment in the gardening year when the summer crops are still holding on, but the air begins to shift. Mornings get cooler, shadows stretch longer, and suddenly the soil feels different underfoot. Many gardeners see this as the season to wind things down, to start clearing beds and packing away tools, but those who know better understand this is actually one of the most rewarding planting windows of the year. The fall garden isn't just about squeezing in a last harvest, it's about unlocking a second wave of abundance. When pests slow down, flavors intensify, and crops thrive in the gentle embrace of cooler weather. Planting now means you'll be pulling fresh, crisp greens and hearty roots from the soil long after your neighbors have surrendered to grocery store produce. If greens are the stars of the fall garden, root vegetables are its sturdy backbone. Carrots planted now take advantage of the cooling soil to develop dense, sweet roots. The reduced heat means they won't split or become woody, and in fact, they can be left in the ground under a light mulch well into winter. For even sweeter results, time your carrot harvest to follow a hard frost, as the plant's natural antifreeze, the sugars in its cells, will intensify. Beets behave much the same way, delivering both tender roots and nutritious greens in one crop. The key is consistent moisture and thinning seedlings early so each plant has enough room to swell underground. Radishes are the quick win of the fall garden. Some varieties mature in less than a month, which means you can succession plant them for multiple harvests before the deep cold arrives. Their sharp, peppery flavor is also more pronounced in the fall, especially in the smaller, crisp roots. For a different spin, try daikon or other Asian radish types, which store well and add variety to the winter pantry. No fall planting plan is complete without mentioning brassicas like broccoli. While broccoli can be tricky in the heat, it excels when given cooler conditions. The heads form more compactly, with tighter florets and richer color, and side shoots keep production going after the main harvest. A generous compost application at planting time helps fuel the growth needed before the days get too short. Cauliflower demands a similar approach, though it is a bit more sensitive to sudden temperature swings. The payoff for a well-timed fall cauliflower crop is dense, flavorful heads that are far less prone to pests than in summer. Finally, garlic holds a unique place on this list because it's planted in the fall not for immediate harvest, but for the long game. Tucking garlic cloves into the soil now gives them time to establish roots before winter sets in. Then they rest until spring warmth triggers rapid growth. By early to midsummer next year, you'll have plump, flavorful bulbs that far surpass anything from the store. In the meantime, that garlic bed is quietly enriching your soil biome and keeping certain pests at bay. Timing is the thread that ties all of these crops together. The goal is to plant early enough for the plants to establish before daylight hours grow too short, but late enough to avoid the lingering heat that can stress cool season varieties. In most climates, that means counting back from your first expected frost date to determine planting windows. Once in the ground, these crops often need less care than their summer counterparts, thanks to reduced pest pressure and slower evaporation rates. Still, watering deeply during dry spells and keeping beds mulched will ensure steady growth. Fall planting also has hidden benefits for soil health. Many of these crops, especially leafy greens and roots, leave behind organic matter in the soil, feeding beneficial microbes over the winter. They act almost like a living mulch, protecting the surface from erosion and temperature extremes. When their life cycle ends, the remaining roots break down, improving soil structure for the next season's planting. For gardeners who want to push the season even further, simple season extension tools like row covers, low tunnels, or cold frames can keep plants protected from frost and wind. These small investments can double the lifespan of your fall garden, turning what might have been a 6-week harvest into one that lasts 3 months or more. The beauty of a fall garden is how quietly it works in your favor. Summer demands constant attention, watering, pest control, and heat management. Fall, by contrast, is forgiving. The cooler air slows growth just enough to make each harvest feel more deliberate, more satisfying. The flavors are deeper, the colors richer, and the rewards greater for the effort given. If you've never planted for a fall harvest before, this is your moment to try. Whether it's a simple bed of spinach and radishes or a full roster of kale, carrots, beets, broccoli, and garlic, the effort you put in now will come back to you in the crisp days ahead, when your garden is still producing, even as frost touches the morning grass. So don't pack away the trowel just yet. Get those seeds and starts in the ground, nurture them through the last warmth of summer, and watch as your garden shifts into a new, vibrant chapter. And when you're enjoying sweet carrots in November or sautéed kale in December, you'll know the secret fall isn't the end of the growing season, it's the encore. If you found this guide helpful and inspiring, share it with fellow gardeners so they can enjoy the bounty of a fall harvest too. And remember to subscribe to Hydro Haven for more expert gardening insights, tested techniques, and seasonal tips that keep your beds thriving all year long.